Well, hello. I've been missing in action for a while, partly because the Boks have not been playing. That's generally what gets me up in the morning. But this is the true test, and I should have given you some updates on the Proteas Bangladesh series. Just wasn't overly motivated by our test cricket heading into the series, but we did brilliantly. We did as well as we could have. I mean, what can I say? And we've now put ourselves in line for the World Test Championship. So, winners and losers of the series. I mean, it was mostly winners when you win like that. But I mean, the obvious ones, Mulder, an average of 159, his first Test century. Also taking 4 wickets at an average of 18. Kind of broke their back with the initial 3 in the first Test. And De Souza, I mean, his first Test century, 177. A really nice big one there, average of 82. Tristan Stubbs, another first Test century for him, average of 79.5. And Verena with his second Test century, 114 and an average of 57. So those the obvious 4 standouts in terms of batting. Bedingham, he scored that 59 at a reasonable pace as well. So average, just a pass mark maybe. Rickleton, man, I'm really wanting to see him nail down a spot, but he's just not quite doing it. He has such a good record at provincial level. Just can't translate that into Test cricket, unfortunately. Markram, only 59 runs, average of 19. Yeah, I know. I mean, he has scored a number of Test centuries, but Markram needs to start scoring runs. He's obviously the next in line to be captain, regular captain. He did well to captain the team to this win, with Bavuma not quite making both tests. But I really want to see him dominating now at the top of the order. He's experienced enough and he should be doing it. Bretska, I want to say loser because, shame, he had 1 innings, a duck on debut. Sometimes it happens and he didn't have another opportunity after that. So a pity for him. Bowling, Rabada. I don't have enough superlatives for the guy. 14 wickets, an average of 9. Completely ridiculous. I mean, he is the best bowler in history when it comes to strike rate. At that amount of wickets. Obviously, he passed the 300 mark. Imagine how many he could have taken by now. He'd be probably close to 400, if not already passed, if he played as many tests as some of the other nations, India, England, Australia. It's a crying shame, and I pray that in the next cycle, we have at least some 3 test series. Please, Cricket South Africa. You've seen the backlash, and people want to see more test cricket. Mutasami, 5 wickets in his 1 game, average of 11. And he made some runs as well. I mean, he had that 68 not out. I'm liking the idea of Mutasami going forward. He's 4 years younger than Maharaj. If he can, could he make the team as a batsman or a bowler? That's always the question as an all-rounder. Maybe not quite, but the combination of the two. If you can have a guy batting at 8 that can score regular runs and is more than solid with the ball, he's a real option going forward. Maharaj took 13 wickets. One of his best series is his overall average has actually come under 30, which is, then you start moving into the territory of really good, solid test cricketer. His average of 19 in the series. Now, I said this before the West Indies series, Dane Patterson and Dane Beat. Wow, would they go? They're in their mid-30s. I don't get it. It's illogical. Brevis went along because, he can spin a bit and he's an exciting player, but he went and he got experience. Fair enough. He was probably never going to play. Why not take a young spinner and a young quick bowler on tour just so they can experience something? These guys are at the tail end of their careers. What are they contributing? Okay, Pete made some good runs in the first game and Patterson took a couple of wickets, but I just don't see the point. Take a 22-year-old with, they don't have to play. I mean, Ngidi was there. You could easily have played Ngidi in the second test if you needed to. Why would you take those two? Please, can someone explain that to me? I just don't get it. Anyway, looking at the World Test Championship points table, first of all, New Zealand, 3-0 win over India in India. Probably their greatest achievement in their history. Yes, winning the World Test Championship a few years ago was huge against India as well, but that was a one-off. To win 3 in India, mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing. Then, all I've been hearing is if South Africa win their 4 remaining matches, they're in the final. But New Zealand have 3 tests against England, and they're just ahead of South Africa. Do they not have any more games? So because South Africa is an extra game? Because you would imagine now that India's dropped a bit below Australia. With the 5 tests that they're going to play, I would back Australia to win at home, even if it's like 3-2. So, I don't know. Maybe someone can let me know what the situation is, because you'd think New Zealand would have a shot. But anyway, who would have thought that when we sent that E team to New Zealand, imagine if we hadn't and where we'd be now. But anyway, they'd be back, we'd beat up, etc. We wouldn't have lost that series 2-0, that's for sure. Who would have thought we'd be in line for the final with playing these pathetic 2-test series and sending that team, which was honestly an insult to Test cricket. Sorry guys that went. I know there were 1 or 2, Bettingham, etc. that, you know, he was clever. He didn't play SA20. He wanted to go on that tour. Regardless, he backed himself to make runs. He made a century, so well done. And he's established himself in the team. Anyway, 2 tests against Sri Lanka and Pakistan at home. We really should back ourselves. We need to full firepower. Nortje, Coetzee, Berger. We need those guys fit and firing. And Janssen, of course, who, by the way, played in the SA20 now and didn't go on tour. Anyway, supposedly they were resting. I mean, they're young guys. Do they really need to rest? Or how bad were their injuries? Interesting to note that. But we need them fit and firing for a Test Championship final in England. You need quicks. I mean, we'll only play 1 spinner. So I really hope that they play. May the best man win in terms of partnering Rabada. At least 2 of them will. And yeah, getting a little excited now, because could this be one of the most amazing comebacks ever? South African Test cricket's in the doldrums, sneak into the final, and in a one-off game, who knows? You hit the right conditions at the right time, with some batsmen coming into form. Interesting times, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I suppose in terms of Test cricket, see you again in a few weeks for the Sri Lanka series.